When you clear the objective, your team leader will come up and pat you and physically make sure you're okay, because a lot of times you can get shot, and since your body's pumping, adrenaline's being released, they won't even know it until they're like, you feel something, you see blood, and you're like, oh, I'm shot. Pretty sure I saw that chick in Syria. Actually, it was very interesting because they have an entire woman fighting force over there.
No kidding.
Yeah, they were badass, and they were right next to the compound and like Secret Crush, dude. There was a warrior princess. Warrior princess. Every man needs one. Ranger School, it is what it is, right? It's one of the greatest leadership courses in the military. You go through it and you respect the guys that pass because it is an extremely physically and mentally challenging course. You barely eat, you barely sleep. I know the first company I went through when I was going through Darby, we slept 15 minutes every single night, and you only eat 2 MREs a day, but in a 24-hour period. So, and most of the time it was when you finished your patrol and when you started. So you had an MRE at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then you had an MRE at like 5:30, so you didn't eat the rest of the day, and you're still burning thousands of calories because you're carrying an 80-pound rucksack.
And it's like, what, how long?
I was there from November all the way to the end of March. So I was there for 4 months.
Damn.
And that's a really good case. The longest guy I knew was there for 11 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the entire time you're there, even if you recycle, you know, you're a prisoner essentially.
Yeah.
You had to pick up a guy that was the only person in country who knew how to use a piece of equipment that was vital to mission success. They basically gave us a up-armored Highlander, and they said, hey, take your buddy, drive across the country of Syria with no supervision. You'll have an escort to be there, but that's pretty much it. So me and my buddy, basically, we're in civilian clothes, got beards, and we just have our guns on us. I was driving. We're following the Syrian escort, but in Syria they have checkpoints everywhere, and we were going to this checkpoint. The Syrian escort blows right through it, but we got stuck. These Syrian guys with AKs and everything were just screaming at us. We couldn't roll down the windows. They started pointing guns at us, telling us to get out the car, get out the car, get out the car. I had my Glock on me, like put to the door, and my buddy had his gun. We were looking at each other like, okay, if shit hits the fan, I'm gonna fucking blow through this. We're gonna get out and just lace gun. But luckily, right as it reached its peak of just where they started like just banging on the windows with their guns trying to break them, the Syrians whipped around and they're like, no, they're with us. Canine attachments, they're such a good asset to have. You could red laze on the ground, just put it on the ground to get its attention, and then I can laze a door like 200 feet away and the dog will take off like a fur torpedo into that room. You can send the dog in if you don't want to risk people, which I mean, it sounds kind of cruel, but these dogs are so trained that they will spark fear into any man that, you know, faces them.
Nobody wants to get attacked by a dog,
No.
So for us, the M4 was our primary. You know, we used 9mm Berettas, flashbangs, frag grenades. That was like the standard stuff that I typically worked with. And then you would work with mounted vehicles like the 50 cal, you know, machine gun, automatic grenade launcher, things like that.
We definitely had some weapons that the conventional army didn't have. So we still used the M4 platform, but we added an extended rail on it. So the Daniel Defense extended rails, that's something that we had over the conventional army. We also had shorty M4s, so different size barrels. And then as far as belt-fed machine guns, we'd have like the Mark 48, which is a 7.62 version of a saw. So we definitely had a bit of a newer stuff. That's what made the job great. It's just like you get all this fancy stuff. When you play a basic video game, you see all night vision in green. I saw night vision in white. Not to mention those mop suits. If you got to use the bathroom,
Just go. I
remember one time we were training and like we were in the middle of the desert and I had to go so bad, but it was training, so I just took my knife and I like cut a hole in my pants and was just like walking with my wiener out, just peeing. No time. One of the skills you learn in the military is how to walk and pee at the same exact time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, rough marks.
You can't stop.
The only time I really got time on a minigun was overseas. We had one attached to one of our trucks. If you're a gamer, you'd know how to use this because it's literally a video game.
Remote control.
Yeah, and that thing, you could shoot the f***ing off a honeybee from like 1,000 meters.